Hello students, welcome back to the video series of Python programming. I'm your instructor Shweta Yagnik, and today we are going to see the OOPS concept of Python, that are destructors, and second concept that we are going to see is abstract data type stack. So let's begin with our first topic, that is destructor. So destructor are called when the object gets destroyed, exactly opposite of the constructor. That means when constructor is called when we create the object, and when destructor will be called when all the references of the class, that is all the objects of the class, are destroyed. When no more references are left, Python garbage collector automatically calls the destructor method. In Python, destructor method is defined as __del as shown over here, and we are going to shortly see practically how to define it. So using del keyword we can destroy the object of the class. So once all the objects of the class are deleted by del method, Python garbage collector automatically calls the destructor method. So let's see how to use it. So here we'll define a class called person, and within that I'm defining one constructor. So init, within that self, and I'm just simply going to write the message, this is the constructor, so that I can come to know when the object is being created. So print constructor method, and similarly we are going to have a destructor. So for that I'll be writing del self, and this is a destructor method. Okay, let us execute it, and before that we are going to have an object of the class person. So ob equal to person, and then del is used to destroy the object. So ob, I'm destroying. So let us execute and see when which function is being called. So as you can see, because of this line, our constructor is called automatically, and when we delete the object, all the objects of the constructor, all the objects of the current class person is deleted. That's why destructor method is called automatically. Now we'll see abstract data type in Python. So what is abstract? Abstract data type, that is called ADT, is a mathematical model to define a data type, and its behavior is defined based on user's point of view. Okay, so here we are going to explore stack abstract data type. So stack is a data structure where insertion and removal of the item is occurred at the same end. That end is called as a top. So if you are putting item 1, then you are putting item 2 on it, item 3 on it. So when you are removing the items, 3 will be removed first. So this behavior of the data structure is called last in first out. So in order to realize this behavior, we are going to implement many of the functions for the stack. The first is a stack, that is creates a new empty stack. This is the object. Then push element, that is to insert elements into stack. Pop is used to remove the element from the stack. Peek is used to identify what is the element at the top, but it will not remove the element from the stack. Next is empty, will give answer in boolean, either true or false, based on the status of the stack, whether it is empty or it is having elements. The last thing that we are going to see is a size operation into stack. So let's see how to implement stack in Python. Let us implement a class which exhibits the behavior of stack. So class, I'm keeping the name stack, and within that I'm defining a constructor. So def self. Within that I am declaring one list okay, called item, in which we'll be storing elements of the stack. So here I'll be having self dot item, which is a list, okay, and right now it is implemented as blank. So item is a list. Now next we are going to have a push function, which will accept the value which is to be inserted into the stack. And in order to push the item, in order to append the item into list, we'll be using function append, which is the function supported by list. List is inbuilt data structure, so it is having its own set of values, a set of functions which is supported. So we'll be using over here append, and within append we'll be passing the value which we want to insert into stack. Now here def pop return so in order to pop the item, we'll be using item dot pop operation, which is a function of the list item. Next we are going to implement peak cell. Here what kind of behavior we want? We do not want to remove the element from the stack, but we just want to access the element which is there on the top of the stack. So for that, return will be using indexing, and if you can remember, if you use the negative indexing, that is -1, it will refer to the last element of the list. So that is what we want. This element is residing on top of the stack, so that's what we want to see, what is that element is. So that will be returned, and last is empty. Return, this is going to return the boolean value. So we are going to write self dot item equal to blank list. Okay, if it is blank list, it is going to return true. Last thing is a size, that returns the we are going to use the len function. So all the functions are defined. Now let us execute it, and we'll be having a object called s of this class stack. Okay, now I'll be inserting some of the elements into stack. So I should use push push function, and suppose 10 I want to push. Okay, there is an error. I should be writing over here append, not append. Okay, so it has pushed the element 10 s dot peak, because I want to check what is residing on top of the stack. So that is 10. Okay, now s dot pop, so it has returned whatever element was residing on top of it. Now again let us try to pop one more element. As we know, there are no more elements left, but we want to check whether it has actually removed the element or not. So again we will be doing pop, and let us see how Python is behaving in this case. So yes, it has given the error pop from empty list. So at this point of time, if we are going to check whether my stack is empty or not, so s dot is empty function. So let us see what it is giving. So it has given me true. So now I'll be inserting some of the elements into my stack using push operation. Push, suppose 20. So I'll be using multiple push operations, 30 and 40. Okay, so let us execute. And so these three elements are pushed, and what is the status of our stack? That is item 20, 30 and 40. Now if we check the size, that is s dot size, it is giving me 3. So this exhibits the we have implemented stack using class, and different functions are defined in order to get the behavior of the stack. Now let us implement stack using the another method, that is using the DQ, that is from collection. This is more efficient method because it is using the inbuilt data structure DQ. So from collection import DQ. Okay, so this is what is imported. Now I am copying the same code that we have written earlier using list to implement stack. Now here, instead of implementing stack using list, which we have done in this line, we'll be using a DQ. Okay, this is the class whose object we are making over here. So here item is no more a list, but item is the object of type DQ. Okay, DQ is the class. So rest of the thing will remain same. Append is the method which is supported by DQ. Pop is the method which is also supported. So rest of the things will be same. Now we'll see how to use this particular class in order to get the behavior of stack. So now OB is equal to stack Okay, this is the object we have created. OB dot push, that is 20 we want to push. Now OB dot peak, that we just want to access the element, we do not want to remove it. So 20 is peaked. So the similar behavior we are getting using this DQ inbuilt class. Now let us see one of the applications of stack, that is to reverse the string. Okay, so here we are asked to define a function using existing class that we have defined just. Either class you can use, either the class which is using list data structure to implement stack, or we can use the stack which is implemented using DQ method. So here I am defining a reverse function. As you can see over here, reverse is a function. It is creating an object of a stack class which we have already created, and from the string each character, okay, that we are pushing into string first. So one on top of another character we use to push until all the characters of the given string are pushed into the stack. Now in order to check whether it is palindrome or here we are trying to see whether what is the reverse of the string. An extended version can be implemented using palindrome just by comparing the reverse of the string and the original string, but here we are restricting just to have the reverse of the string. Okay, so for that we are having the while loop. Okay, we are checking until the size of the stack is empty, that means till the stack got empty. Then we keep on popping and appending the concatenating the popped out character into the reverse string, which is the blank string right now. So one by one we first of all we have pushed all the character on top of each other till the string is empty. Then we have started popping it up. Okay, so first character whatever has been popped out will be concatenated to the string, and this is how we build a reverse string. So the string that we are passing over here, suppose Shweta, reverse of the string will be given to us. Let's execute the code. So yes, this is what the reverse of the string. So that's it for this session. I hope you have enjoyed today's content. We'll see you soon in the next video session. Till then, keep learning.